Have you ever wondered, why should I pray? Like really wondered, why bother? What happens really when people pray? 80 years ago, this month, back in 1940, was obviously part of the Second World War. And there's this real pivotal moment in the course of the war when hundreds of thousands of Allied forces are trapped on Dunkirk beach just over the channel. And there's no way of getting to them. They're outnumbered, they're outgunned, they're surrounded, and the Nazi forces all around them are advancing on their location. And Churchill has this crazy idea, he called it Operation Dynamo, to mobilize any of the civilians, this is non-military personnel, population of the country, anybody with anything that floats, to sail across the channel and just to rescue as many lives as they can. Many people called him crazy for even suggesting this. But King George takes a call, and that call is to call the people to pray. And so on the 24th of May, he takes to the airwaves just to call the nation to stand and to pray for this operation and for the war effort. And that Sunday, 2 days later, right across this nation, millions and millions of people rushed to church, flocked there. There's footage and photos of people queuing to get into church to pray. And what happens next now is recognized by the history books as a miracle. Actually, there were three major miracles of Dunkirk. The first is that for some unexplainable reason, and even historians don't know why, Hitler decides to halt his attack on the Dunkirk position. It makes no military sense. He had us absolutely surrounded, had us back into a corner, and yet he delays advancing on our position, and nobody knows why. The second major miracle was that where the major kind of element of the Nazi forces were, Flanders, there was this storm that's been described as a storm of unprecedented fury. And that just causes them to slow down. They stop in their tracks. At this point, they're quite confident, maybe overconfident of their ability to defeat us when they get there. And so who cares if it takes another day or two? But it slows down how they're able to progress on the Allied forces' position. And then despite this huge, great storm, the conditions on the channel are eerily quiet. So one person described it this way, that he went to say that it was unnaturally still and unnaturally calm, and he was corrected by someone else who said, no, it's not unnaturally calm, it's supernaturally calm. And in conditions that have rarely been seen before that day or since, somebody described the waters as still as a mill pond, so that these people that were coming to rescue them, many of whom were not experienced sailors, certainly had never been out that far before, were able to have really calm conditions to get there safely and get as many as home as safely as possible. The following Sunday, the 9th of June, was called a day of national thanksgiving. And there's this psalm that is sung in churches. If the Lord had not been on our side, let all Israel now say, if the Lord had not been on our side, they would have swallowed us alive. The waters would have swept over us. Psalm 124. What happens when people pray is that heaven moves. And so 80 years on, a week today, on Tuesday, the 26th of May, 2020, I want to invite you to stand with us and to pray for God's deliverance. We may feel again in very different circumstances like we've been besieged and bewildered by something, but I'm telling you, this is a battle that will be won on our knees. We need to cry out to God for his help, for his aid, for his deliverance in this situation. And so throughout the course of today, we're going to be posting various prayer videos. They're going to go live at 8 o'clock, morning prayer. At 1 o'clock, we're going to take a virtual prayer walk together. And then at 9 p.m., we're going to have a sort of an evening compline to close that day of prayer together. But once those videos go live, they will be available and remain up throughout the rest of the day. There may well be other opportunities for us to gather on Zoom and pray together. And I want to invite you, please be part of that. You know what? Sometimes we wrestle with this whole thing about why would God really care what I think or what I have to say about a situation? But we have proven moments in our own history when a nation cries out to God, God moves. And we know, and God knows right now, we need him to move. Will you stand with us? And will you pray with us to see this battle won and to see this thing shift in the name of Jesus? We're going to stand together and make our stand in reply, not to a human king's call, but to the King of Kings, who invites us to cry out to him and who promises to answer with great and unsearchable things that are beyond our wildest imagination and deeper than we can possibly begin to understand or expect or imagine. Stand with us on the King's call.